Happy Thanksgiving! This is the time of year that our thoughts turn to pumpkin pie, turkey, and cranberries that still look like the can. And in fact, it's Tuesday, so if you have a turkey in the freezer, don't forget to take it out to defrost it. But our thoughts, rather than being consumed with all the things we have to do before Thursday, should also be going towards our blessings. Thanksgiving is about remembering the great gifts that God's given us and cultivating that feeling of gratitude for them. You know, it's important to count your blessings. It's not just something we put on a refrigerator magnet. But count your blessings, because the more you think about the great gifts God's given you, the more you can find those gifts even when they're disguised, even when life turns difficult. The Jewish people celebrate a type of Thanksgiving when they celebrate the Feast of Passover. And in the Feast of Passover, they recount the deliverance of the Lord, that the Lord delivered them from slavery in Egypt. It's beautiful. If you ever participate in one of their Passover Seder meals, they recount that delivering act of the Lord, and they see even themselves today as being delivered, just as their ancestors were in Egypt thousands of years ago. We know that in the Catholic Church, this Passover meal has been fulfilled by Christ in the Last Supper, and we celebrate this Thanksgiving every time we come together and worship as a community at the altar, because the word Thanksgiving in Greek is Eucharistia. And so we don't just celebrate Thanksgiving the fourth Thursday of every November, but we celebrate it whenever we come together at the Eucharistic feast as a community. We think of the offertory procession, when people from the community take up gifts of bread and wine to symbolize the material gifts that God's given us, and we then offer them back to Him in worship and sacrifice. When we take up the gifts, I urge you to visualize putting yourself in the hands of those people, of putting yourself on the altar. Because ultimately, what does God want in Thanksgiving? He wants your heart. Where do we pray at the offertory? But the priest says, lift up your hearts. And we respond, we lift them up to the Lord. Let us give thanks to the Lord. And we agree it is right and just. This prayer should remind us that the Mass is an act of thanksgiving. We are giving thanks for everything the Lord's done in our lives. But how do we give thanks? By making our lives a gift back to Him. We don't deserve anything we have in this life. He's given it to us as gift. And so we offer it back to Him in thanksgiving. That's what the Mass is all about. United to Christ's sacrifice on the cross, offered to the Father. Happy Thanksgiving. Hey friends, exciting news for you. My very first book is available from Ave Maria Press. It's called Opening the Holy Door, and it's scriptural reflections on the virtue of hope. It's the perfect way to celebrate this Jubilee year, as together we are pilgrims of hope. You can find the link in the description below or go to joanwatson.faith to order your copy today.